Hello and welcome to another edition of the PHNX D-backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla. Of course, I'm your mayor of PHNX, and this guy next to me is the returning vice mayor, the one, the only, the irreplaceable Thunderstick Jesse Friedman.
I'm not the one who stole your keys, Derek. Wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you because we figured out who stole my keys, and we are going to get to the bottom of that mystery before this show is over. But of course, we welcome you guys all in. Thank you so much for joining us. This show is brought to you by the fine folks at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Jesse, where have you been?
You know, I've been sort of dying. I got sick, and it's not COVID, but it really has worn me out the last couple days. So I really couldn't physically speak at all yesterday. Or when I did, I really sounded like a dying duck. And today, granted, might not be that much better. I still am a little stuffy here, but you can actually hear me. Like I can actually speak and say things and communicate.
Yeah, you sound much better than you did yesterday when you called me. That's for sure.
Charles
Will Pike in the comments says, can't wait for the future PHNX The Story episode that Cheerston puts out about this Keys saga.
Oh yes.
My God.
It's going to take multiple parts, I think. It's going to be like a 3-part
I'm worried about the interviews that people who were in attendance at the Maya Day Club are going to have about me. My perception of it is much different than I'm sure people perceived me to be. As far as I know, like I told people, I know you weren't here for this, but I did fight several bridal parties for control of the South Bar, which was adjacent to the cabana that I was living in. I was very sunburned. I was very dehydrated, so I might have hallucinated most of this, but regardless, it was a fun day over at Maya Day Club, or fun 3 days. I don't even know how long I was there for before someone finally came and saved me. But of course, we will get to the bottom of the mystery of who stole my keys at the end of this episode. Before then, we have more mysteries to get to, Jesse. We have the rumors of call-ups just on the horizon, just out of reach right now. But according to a tweet, there are rumors of call-ups by Matt Eddy. Rumors of call-ups for elite prospects like Gunnar, Henderson, and Corbin Carroll are circulating because there are 44 days between today and October 5th, the final day of the MLB season. Calling up players now would preserve their rookie status for 2023 if they stay under 131 at bat. So some caveats there, Jesse, but nothing that the Diamondbacks can't handle, I think, at this point. If they did call Corbin Carroll up, I don't think he needs to start every day, and I don't think he necessarily, they need to worry about him getting over that, 131 at bats. They can manage that pretty easily, but also get him this playing time. So do you think we'll see Corbin Carroll in the Chicago White Sox series?
I don't know about the White Sox series. We'll see. I don't know if much necessarily changes today, but today is significant in some way, just because Matt Eddy, by the way, is the executive editor of Baseball America. So the guy knows what he's talking about, right? There, yes. He's got some decent credibility. But basically what he's saying, and sort of the overarching point here, is not that Corbin Carroll is definitely going to be called up today or this weekend or anything. The main takeaway is that there was really no chance he would be called up prior to today. So today is sort of the first day where it's sort of a viable move for the Diamondbacks, and the reason for that is that as Matt Eddy said in his tweet, at this point, Corbin Carroll could no longer reach 45 days on a major league roster, which is part of what would make it so he no longer had rookie eligibility for next season. If he had spent 45 days on the major league roster this season, he would have lost his rookie eligibility for next year, and he would not have been eligible to win rookie of the season next year. But now that we've waited up to this point, and he can only get 44 days of time on the major league roster, at this point, it is impossible for Corbin Carroll to lose his rookie status this season. And the real benefit of that, Derek, it sort of seems like, okay, why does this really matter? Like, why are we trying to preserve his rookie eligibility into next season? The reason for that is that if Corbin Carroll were to start the season on opening day with the Diamondbacks and also win the Rookie of the Year, the Diamondbacks would receive a draft pick after, I want to say it's after the first round. in the draft the year following. So
Oh.
the Diamondbacks sort of have something to gain from allowing Corbin Carroll to be in the Rookie of the Year conversation next year. And at this point, if they called him up this season, they wouldn't run any risk of doing that, as long as he stays under 130 at bats or has 130 at bats or fewer. But obviously, that's something the team has more control over.
What about Stone Garrett? Were they not concerned about preserving his rookie status, considering that's not been that long since they called him up?
That's a fair question. I'm guessing that they might. I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but maybe the Diamondbacks weren't quite as concerned about Stone Garrett, winning a Rookie of the Year award next season and like preserving that.
Right. So you're saying that's the main goal here. That's the main thing that they are trying to get to. The end game is getting him service time this year, so he gets his feet wet. He can start on the opening day roster next year, and then potentially still win the Rookie of the Year because of honestly how good he's been and the hype surrounding him. Right. I get it. I was just wondering if there was any also like service time manipulation or anything going on here, because if there is more service time by, again, not allowing him to be called up until this point, it seems like they could have waited for Stone Garrett as well, right? But if the only benefit there, if the only thing they're trying to do is retain that rookie status next season, then that makes sense why it's not that big of a deal for Stone Garrett or some of the other guys they've called up, like Tommy Henry, right? Like these guys weren't called up that long ago. So it seems like if there was some way to benefit the team by waiting a little bit longer, maybe they should have, but thanks for clarifying that. More importantly, are we ready for an outfield of Stone Garrett, Corbin Carroll, Jake McCarthy, Alek Thomas, and Daulton Varsho?
It's a lot of outfielders.
A lot of outfielders, Jesse.
And only one of them bats right-handed, right?
Oh
so it's kind of a matchups nightmare. But I was thinking about this, and it does. I mean, by all indications, we've been saying this for a while. It seems pretty likely that the Diamondbacks will call up Corbin Carroll this season. I think pretty much everyone's in agreement that is likely to happen at the very least. So, you kind of have to go through and sort out like, okay, how are the Diamondbacks going to get consistent playing time for everyone that they want to? And yeah, I mean, that's 5 outfielders. You have the DH spot, right? Which Seth Beer is now back in Reno. So I guess he's not going to be taking as many of those DH at bats. Ketel Marte seems to be getting healthier. So maybe there's an opportunity for him, not to have to take the DH spot anymore. So I guess, Derek, you've got 5 guys and you've got 3 outfield spots plus the DH spot. So maybe you only have to sit one guy every day. And I guess you could play all of them if Daulton Varsho were to catch for a day. So it's possible. Like, you can make it work. It is a little interesting.
Stone Garrett is the DH. Those 3 guys in the outfield. Daulton Varsho behind the plate. I love it.
There you go.
See, it looks like a core to me. And Ben says, forget a 4-man outfield. We need a 5-man outfield. Gabriel Ferreira says they should put Varsho and Garrett in the infield, since infield shifts end up having 5 outfielders anyway. Brilliantly said. Here's the thing. Is Corbin Carroll, once again, we've talked about his numbers in the minor leagues this season. He's just been raking. 313, 430, 643 in Amarillo with a 1.073 OPS. For Reno, he has a 297 average, 406, 523 with a 929 OPS. I mean, he's just killing it. He just continues to be extremely good and contributes in a lot of ways to this team. And I think the idea there is that maybe he hasn't surpassed what he can learn in the minor leagues, but maybe he's just ready to start getting that, major league coaching. Maybe that might be the thing right now. Let him make those mistakes. We've seen Alek Thomas now not only come back to earth, but have some struggles at the plate lately. So it happens to every guy. It's nothing new in baseball. It's just something that that seemed to be the purpose of this season. And that can be the big benefit to Corbin Carroll getting this last month and a week to get some time in the bigs.
Yeah, I mean, looking at his numbers, like you said, the 297 batting average, the 929 OPS, I will say that those numbers are not outrageously good, right?
No,
just given that Reno, Yeah, given that Reno is Reno, like you kind of have to adjust your expectations a little bit.
Sure.
So he's playing well. Like he's played well there. I wouldn't say he's, he's not doing as well there as he was in AA, when he had an OPS of almost 1100. But he's still playing pretty darn well down there. So
He's moved really fast, though. Considering his injury, considering
yeah,
the setback, he has moved very fast through the minor league system. And it just shows
yes,
that he's a mature player and that he's getting ready, for that leap. I'm completely on board with seeing him as soon as possible and letting him get that time in just to get over all those moments. The first hit, the first home run, the first game, having the family there at the game, all of that. By the time opening day comes around next season, he's just a major league ball player at that point. You get all of those first out of the way, all of the nerves out of the way. So I think that's the big benefit. And if I could, I would very much bet on him on the DraftKings Sportsbook app getting called up. I wish we had a date.
Can you bet on that?
I'm sure somewhere you can. We got to get that over on the DraftKings Sportsbook, but there are plenty of options for you to get down on if you're a new customer. Of course, college football is back, which seems unbelievable. It's still very hot here in Phoenix, so it's hard to remember when fall shows up and football returns, but we've seen the NFL back, college football's back, and you can get down on it at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use our code of PHNX. Bet just $5 on any college football game, and you will get $200 in free bets instantly. Go ham on those free bets. Then take those free bets, come bet on baseball. Find yourself some fun live bets, some single game parlay, single game. I'm making up new terms, Jesse. Same game parlays, multiple game parlays, whatever you want to do. Over at the DraftKings Sportsbook, tons of options for you to use those $200 in free bets. More importantly, use our code again of PHNX only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. And I still apologize for my picks of the week last week. It is what it is. We sometimes we fall. I fall more often than not, but I will say this: I still love betting on baseball. It's just baseball, with it being the season it is, and all of the different variables. It's so tricky to bet on. So if you're not interested in betting on baseball, football's right around the corner, and we can all make some money when it comes to the football season. So make sure to get that DraftKings Sportsbook, just like getting Corbin Carroll up early. Get that DraftKings Sportsbook up on your phone now, right? Get those $200 in free bets. That way you're ready for the start of football season coming right around the corner. And also to get ready for the football season, get yourself some merch over at our friends at Foco.com. They have incredible merch, including our beloved bobbleheads. So if you are still looking to add to your collection before this baseball season ends, go to Foco.com. They have all of your officially licensed merch for Jesse's dog specifically. Even when you're not here, we're telling people about how posh your dog is and how your dog
I did notice that. I did notice that when I was listening the other day.
We just want to make sure. We want to make sure everybody knows that, if you have a dog that's very picky, very choosy, has a bit of a chip on their shoulder about unlicensed merch from eBay and other things like that, and I get it. They could sniff it out. They look for the hologram, little hologram. I don't know if you do that. Dogs love holograms. But yeah, get the officially licensed merch and make sure it has that little NFL hologram on it. All of your stuff over at Foco.com. Of course, they are the leader in collectibles. And again, when I talk about the bobbleheads that they have are crazy. They're so good. And of course, they have everything for Jesse's dog, men, women, children, bobblehead, swimsuits, Crocs, the whole line over at Foco. Use our code of PHNX and you will get 10% off all non-presale items. But Jesse, we talked about Corbin Carroll. He's not the only name we could be seeing very soon. Maybe he's not in the contention for Rookie of the Year, but Brandon Pfaadt could be on his way to the majors incredibly soon. And this is a guy that has kind of quietly become one of the Diamondbacks' best pitching prospects in their system. You wrote about it recently on gophnx.com, but give us some more reasons why we should be excited about Brandon Pfaadt coming here and being a part of this team.
Well, we were just talking about how easy it is to hit in Reno, right? Like how the park factors are just insane, and how the advantage always lies with the hitter in that ballpark. Brandon Pfaadt's putting up some pretty darn good numbers in Reno, Derek, since being promoted there. I believe it is a 1.73 ERA in 4 starts. He has 26 strikeouts in 26 innings. He only has 7 walks. Opposing hitters are batting 136 off of Brandon Pfaadt since his promotion to Reno. Those are some pretty darn good numbers. And so I think those numbers in themselves, anytime you've got a starting pitcher in Reno putting up those kind of numbers, obviously it's a small sample size. It's eye-opening to say the very least. The other thing, I'm going to nerd out here for a second, Derek. I know you'll love this. But now that Brandon Pfaadt is in AAA, we have like StatCast metrics on him. Those numbers are not available prior to the AAA level, at least not publicly. But now that he's in AAA, we have StatCast metrics on him, and we can see the spin rates on each of his different pitches. We've talked about spin rate maybe a couple of different times on the show. Basically, it allows guys to throw more effective pitches with the same velocity. You have a higher spin rate. In general, it's going to be a more effective pitch. It's going to have sharper movement, and it's generally going to induce more swing and miss than if your spin rate was a little bit lower. So anyway, I'm going to nerd out for a second because Brandon Pfaadt.
Oh, that wasn't
rates,
the nerding out?
That was it. That was the idea, but I'm going to give you the actual, numbers now. All right. So Brandon Pfaadt's spin rates are off the charts. This is the reason I bring this up. His four-seam fastball so far in those 4 starts in Reno is averaging just under 2,500 RPMs. And if you compare that, Derek, with major league starters this season, with every qualified major league starter in baseball, that RPM on a 4-seam fastball would rank 5th among every qualified major league starter in baseball, trailing only, wait for it, only Corbin Burns, Joe Musgrove, Julio Urias, and Dylan Cease.
Yikes.
Pretty decent company.
That's some good company.
Pretty decent company. And Garrett Cole is just right behind him. His spin rate is just slightly lower than what Brandon Pfaadt has done in the minors. And then Brandon Pfaadt's slider would rank 8th among all qualified major league starters this season. So I think that's pretty exciting as well. Just seeing those kind of numbers, it shows you that the swing and miss that Brandon Pfaadt is getting in the minor leagues has some grounding to it. Like should theoretically play pretty well at the major league level. Spin rates, like if having a high spin rate is not everything that it means to be an effective starting pitcher. Like there's more that goes into pitching than just that. Sure. So I don't want to oversimplify things, but it is a big factor
to hit the ball hard and far when it has a spin rate like that, essentially, right? So yeah, I get where you're coming from as far as the difficulty to actually hit a ball like that, not to mention the fact that he's still a very young player, right? That's something that, as far as we're concerned, he might only improve on. He might find ways to get even more RPMs out of that. And
Brent Strom is a big spin rate guy, so the moment that Brent Strom gets his hands on him, you never know where those numbers can do.
Get him up here as soon as possible to start working with Brent Strom. That's what I say. But again, these are just more reasons to be excited about the future of this team. I get it. There's times where it felt a bit hopeless as to what the direction of this team was, where things were going. There was a part of me that felt like things started to solidify once they started extending guys on this team. It's something that we don't see the Diamondbacks do, is keep guys that are good. They have a hard time convincing guys to stay here. They have a hard time paying guys the same amount of money that they can get elsewhere, right? But that's not always a bad thing, because sometimes in baseball, teams do tend to overpay for guys that you could typically get similar production out of someone for way less money than you're paying a superstar in baseball. It sucks for us. It's going to be, kind of a part of the Diamondbacks, just like it is for other teams, like the Milwaukee Brewers. Like there's other teams I think of when I think of teams that get good. And then when they're about to get good, their guys start to get picked off and vultured by teams with more money. And then they kind of have to retool and rearm themselves with minor league players and young guys in the system. The Diamondbacks are that. And it sucks that that's the reality of it. But that's why right now is exciting, is because I feel like we got past now the bad part. And now we're transitioning into the good part, where next season really could be that breakout year for not only lots of these young guys, but for this team as a whole, right? I feel like this year has had enough positives for people to see it as a win when compared to last season, right? But the thing that we are, going to get excited about, the thing that's going to make this team exciting to watch, are guys like Brandon Pfaadt that kind of come out of nowhere, that, as you put so eloquently in your article on gophnx.com, This is a guy that's been doubted his entire career, and it's somebody who has faced that adversity of people not thinking he's as good as other players. And like you said, you already see things about his game that put him in a very elite category that not a lot of pitchers can do. So his maturation and his progress as far as coming along as a minor leaguer is going to be fun to watch. And that's pretty much the story with a lot of these guys now. We're at that point where these young guys that Mike Hazen drafted and this team put kind of invested in when they were at their low point, they're coming back now and they're starting to actually contribute. And it's going to be that's what's going to be so much fun about this team to watch. So, and like I said, Jesse has an amazing article on that. So to go more in depth on that, check that out over at gophnx.com. If you don't have a membership already, sign up for a membership. You can get an annual membership. You'll get yourself a free t-shirt from the phnxlocker.com. And if you hurry right now, we're having an incredible sale over at the phnxlocker.com. Some shirts up to 50% off. You can get that amazing Seth Cerveza shirt for 50% off. Not to mention, if you get yourself the annual membership, I believe it's just a $30 gift card, if I'm not mistaken. It's a $30 off your order. So you might get more bang. If you haven't signed up yet, now might be the time, my friend. Strike while the iron is hot and get more bang for your buck. You'll get yourself maybe 2 shirts, close to 2 shirts for your $30 potentially. You know, you can't beat that. So go on to the phnxlocker.com, grab yourself. Sticker packs are on sale. The scarf for our friends over at the PHNX Rising is on sale. I got myself one of those, and I finally got
everyone needs a scarf.
Everybody needs a scarf, right? Hey, I helped design that scarf. It is a sweat moisture wicking scarf. It is not for the purpose of making you warm. It is the purpose of dabbing your forehead in the hot Arizona sun. So that's what that scarf is all about. Especially if you've ever been to a Rising game, it can't start late enough. It's just so hot all the time here. So you need that if you're going to attend Phoenix Rising games in the future. But thank you guys again that have already signed up for a membership. If you're interested in the month-to-month option, you'll get your first month for just 50 cents. Regardless of your membership status, you'll get access to our members-only discounts like this 50%. Everybody gets this one off over at the PHNX Locker, as well as members-only access to our Discord. So, and Josh Hunt says, too bad I didn't say that $200 for this fire sale. Ha! Joke's on you, Josh Hunt. We knew we waited until you spent your $200 before we put stuff on sale. But anyway, we love you, Josh Hunt. We love all of our viewers, all of our members, all of our listeners. We appreciate you guys for being here. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss whenever we go live. And leave us a little thumbs up. Always helps to spread the good word about us if you like the episode. And also, if you're listening to us on your favorite audio podcasting app, make sure to subscribe to us there and leave us a 5-star review. We thank you as always for doing that. Only if you feel we deserve a 5-star review. If you feel we don't, which is understandable. I mean, Jesse barely shows up around these parts anymore, so I get it. But just again, like, let me know. Just DM me. We'll work it out, and then maybe we can work our way back up to that 5-star review with you. But Jesse, looking at the upcoming calendar, again, you weren't here when we did that, but the Diamondbacks have some unfamiliar faces on the schedule coming up with the Kansas City Royals and the Chicago White Sox. Our friends from CHGO will be traveling up to Chicago. Not we, but the Diamondbacks will be traveling up to Chicago for that. And then they come back here for 6 games at home, 3 against Philly, 3 against the Milwaukee Brewers I was just talking about. So I guess my first question is, when do we see Corbin Carroll play, Jesse? In which of these games? In which series? Where does he fit in at? In this Philadelphia game on the 29th when we come back home? Maybe on the 1st against the Brewers? When are we going to see Corbin Carroll?
That's not the direction I thought you were going to go with that question. Of course, all roads lead back to Corbin Carroll on our podcast. Makes sense. So I still am of the belief that, even, what we were talking about before about how like today is the first day where it's sort of viable to call him up based on this plan that we're pretty sure the Diamondbacks have of making sure he's rookie eligible next year. I still think they're probably going to wait till September. So that's September 1st game against Milwaukee. It is a home game. You might want to get some tickets for that one. For those of you looking to get out to the ballpark in the next couple weeks, that might be a good one. That's the day the D-backs get 2 extra roster spots. So it just sort of naturally fits because you don't have to worry about, trying to send guys down in order to bring them up here. The Diamondbacks are likely going to call up 1 position player and 1 pitcher. So it's just a matter of who those guys are. They're going to call up someone on September 1st because that's when they're going to get the 2 extra roster spots. So we have an inkling that Corbin Carroll could be one of them. So obviously we don't know for sure, but that would be my guess. The other thing I want to bring up.
Oh,
sorry, go ahead, Derek.
No, I was going to say we got people in the chat talking about games that we need to circle. Apparently, we got ASU night on Monday. Then we got to circle that Mikal Bridges game where it's a Mikal Bridges night, where I believe he's going to be brought out to the field by people holding him on a throne. You know, one of those like Cleopatra mobile throne kind of deals, right?
Yeah.
Crown. Right. He's going to borrow Alek Thomas's cape and scepter. He'll be the young king for the night, I'm guessing. So that's something not to be missed because I'm sure that's going to be an absolute blast. And of course, we got some probables for this upcoming series with the Kansas City Royals. Jesse, what are your thoughts about the Diamondbacks starters in this 2-game set?
Well, Zach Gallen is tomorrow, right? So you always have to circle a Zach Gallen game based on how well he's pitched lately. It's been pretty ridiculous. And then you got Zach Davies in the game tonight, which you always feel like you got a chance to win with Zach Davies on the mound. Royals starter tonight, I don't know a whole lot about, Jonathan Heasley, but he has a 5.61 ERA and 13 starts and is 1-7. The numbers look pretty rough there, so should be a chance for the Diamondbacks offense to come out with some fire in this one. But tomorrow should be a pitching matchup all the way around. Gallen for the Diamondbacks and then Brady Singer for the Royals, who's a very good young starting pitcher. Brady Singer this year is a 3.27 ERA, a 1.15 whip. He's been a really good starter for the Royals this year. The Royals are also pretty good at home. They're like a 500 team at home, even though their overall record on the season is not very good. So the Diamondbacks need to make sure that they don't take Kansas City for granted because they actually are a pretty decent team when playing there at home. So something to keep in mind for them.
Think they'll get have a nice reception for Emmanuel Rivera upon his return?
Yeah, Emmanuel Rivera's triumphant return to Kansas City. His numbers are still good. Emmanuel Rivera still has like a OPS near 1,000 since joining the Diamondbacks. Really Luke Weaver still not pitching great for the Royals. So yeah, it will be interesting. I sense that some Royals fans might be a little bit bitter about how good Emmanuel Rivera has been since the trade because it's been his numbers are completely different. I mean, with the Diamondbacks, he's been basically a completely different player.
And that's what I wonder. Like, do you get mad at a player for being that, or do you just get mad at the organization for trading them away? Like, where, is there ever a time where you start to boo the player just for being so good because he left, or do they have to like really do something egregious in order to like start getting that level of hate from the fans?
I don't think they're gonna boo the guy. I mean, my gosh.
Hey, I'm not above booing someone for being good and leaving here. Look, I do it to Jake Lamb every chance I can get.
Like if they get traded, if it wasn't like their own doing,
I don't care. I just don't like. I don't like when players leave. I'm like everybody else. I don't like when players leave and then are good elsewhere. It's my natural instinct to boo. It's like a guttural response that I can't even control. I'm like, oh man, I remember that. Hey, it's Paul Goldschmidt. I love that guy. Boo! Like that. It just comes out. But it's because I'm a bitter person. Jesse, though, speaking of royalty, speaking of the Royals, we have an absolute king to discuss, and I don't mean on the diamond. I mean in the stands, and not just any kind of king. He's a glizzy straw king. You know who I'm talking about, Jesse. He's the talk of the baseball world. It's this gentleman. This absolute criminal who is fashioning a straw out of a hot dog for which, as you can see, he is drinking his beer.
It's not okay.
First of all, I know what you're thinking. Is that Sean DePaz from the PHNX Sun Devils podcast?
It does sort of look like Sean DePaz. I'm not gonna lie.
I cannot confirm or deny that it is Sean DePaz. All I know is Sean DePaz's history. I know his history, and I know his tweets from the past, Jesse. For instance, here he is. Here we are, the moment of reckoning. First 4 hot dogs of the night in the quest to 9, 1 per inning. D-backs in the City Connect jersey. Magic is in the air. I don't know if this is that the same man that decided to stick one of the hot dogs in his beer and drink it as a straw. I don't know. Who buys 4 hot dogs at once, knowing he's going to go back and get more? Sean. I don't know. Here's the thing, though. Is this man a leader of men and an innovator of technology, or is he an insane person?
I think it's the latter.
Oh.
I also, for the record, this video is definitely staged. Like, there is no way that like this guy is doing this and someone just happens to be right there, like videotaping the entire time. This video is absolutely staged. There's no question in my mind.
TikTok's ruining everybody. Everything's all staged. Everything's all set up. Nothing's real. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was staged by Sean DePaz and Shane Diefenbach.
Would you do it?
Would I do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would do that. I mean, sometimes when I drink a beer, I feel like I need something else to go with it, even if I'm not actually hungry, right? Like I could have eaten moments ago. And if I'm drinking a beer and watching the game now and the meal is done and my belly is full and I'm moving on, there will be one part of that beer where I think I wish I had some like salty snack to go with this, right?
Would you want to submerge that snack in said beer, however?
See,
I'm not so sure you would.
Are you gonna eat that hot dog? Like my big problem here, once again, Jesse, as you know, as I've complained about on this show so many times, is the idea of sticking a hot dog in a cold beer. That's my problem. You're ruining the beer and you're ruining the hot dog. Neither one of those things is going to be very good after a while. You're not going to be able to eat that hot dog. That hot dog is going to be beer logged and cold. And if you eat it, then I'm going to judge you. I'm not judging you for using it as a straw, but I'm judging you for eating it after it's cold and been soaked in beer. Maybe he was done with the hot dog. We don't know what this man. See, Jesse's just assuming that it's staged. Like Ben said, Jesse, please don't ruin our fun. Okay. We're having a good time. I do want to say that I feel like that was Sean DePaz and that Shane Diefenbach was the one that was recording him, because those two together, when you get them together, are trouble. And that brings me to the story of who stole my car keys.
Who stole your car keys, Derek?
It was Shane. It was Shane Diefenbach. Of all the people in the office, Jesse, it's always the person you trust most. It's always the person you least suspect would actually do it to you. What did Shane have to gain from this? I don't know. Maybe he wanted me to become mayor of the Maya Day Club. Maybe he knew exactly what stranding me there would do. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe he had a good laugh after he left. Ha ha ha, Derek's stuck there. He's old. He's going to die there. Like maybe that was what it was for. I don't know what it was for. But Jesse, here's the thing. I tweeted it out before the show. At that same event, Sean DePaz gave me his Loser of the Week award, Jesse. So I am taking strays left and right from the ASU podcast, the guys over at PHNX Sun Devils. And I never thought I would say this, but Anthony Totri ends up being the hero of that trio.
It's a rare thing. Nobody saw that coming. That's for sure.
No, not at all. The betrayal I feel, Jesse. But
so logistically, how did this happen? Did you give Shane your keys? How did Shane get your keys?
No. Here's what happened, Jesse, is we came in, I had stuff. I put my stuff where I thought it was going to be safe with the group stuff, right? So then shortly before we start, now mind you, I was wearing a ridiculous outfit. And I was trying to be responsible because my ridiculous outfit didn't hold things in the pockets well. If I sat down, they would easily fall out, fall in between cracks of cushions, all sorts of things. Things you don't want happening at a place like the Maya Day Club. So I put my keys along with my stuff, with our stuff as a group where it should be protected and watched and loved, Jesse. Loved, not stolen, not taken from me, not misplaced, but loved. And then we went to the cabana to go meet with our friends from OGs who so graciously invited us to come out. Actually, the OGs CEO, which I've talked about, Bran, joined us on our OGs variety show. He kicked everyone's ass in trivia. It was fantastic. We had a great time. We come back to do the show, and Jesse, alarm bells were ringing before I even started. I knew my keys weren't in the spot where I had moved them, because now they had cleared off the table that we were going to do the show on, and it was ready for us to do the show. So who did it? We still have another culprit. Shane alleges that he did not put the keys himself in the bag. So I'm blaming Leah. Leah, you want to come in here and defend yourself? I'm blaming you. I think it's your fault. Here's why. Because who else would reach into Shane's bag? Who else is going to go into there? Shane or you? That's it. That's the two people that's going to go. I'm putting it out there in the universe.
What about Emma? She's the one who would need to act.
Emma, I don't know. Have you? Emma's surly, right? Emma's the kind of person who will purposely leave your stuff behind, and you'll say, "Why didn't you grab it?" And she would say, "It's not mine. Why the fuck would I touch it?" That's an Emma response. Emma's not tucking stuff away for safety or security purposes. So that's why, again, there's still another culprit to be had. We're going to review security tape. We're going to find out. I'm the mayor of Maya Day Club. I can demand that the security tape be sent to me.
I'm not speaking any further without a lawyer.
See, there you go. All right. Well,
wow.
See,
she has to be guilty. That's yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think so. But again, big thank you to our friends at OGs for inviting us and for making the best gummies in all of Arizona. So check out their product if you haven't had a chance to do so. OGs over at ogsbrands.com or on their Instagram at ogsbrands. That's OGEEZ. They are doing wonderful things. We're going to continue to have good times with them. I don't know if I'm allowed back at the Maya Day Club after my dictatorship. I think some of the people in management weren't very happy with me, but that's what happens when you lock me inside overnight and the security guards make me king. Jesse, I will say this, though. There's no better way to spend getting locked inside of a day club like that than doing it with an entire box of OGs like I had. So go get yourself some OGs gummies. They have the variety of flavors that are all delicious. They're all about flavoring life. They have a variety of strains and doses for you, depending on what you are looking for. And more importantly, we're giving some OGs away. Go to our website at gophnx.com and entering our Flavoring Life sweepstakes with our friends from OGs. That's Open Shirt Derek, potential closer for next year. This is a woman I still don't know. But Flavoring Life sweepstakes, you get yourself 3 bags of the OGs gummies, an OGs hat, a PHNX t-shirt of your choosing, and a PHNX annual membership. And not to be outdone, our friends at Four Peaks are also giving you away 2 sweepstakes to enter over at gophnx.com. So jump on there and join right now one of their delicious beers, and you can win yourself the Toast of the Month sweepstakes over at gophnx.com. Win yourself a $50 gift card, a PHNX shirt of your choice, and a PHNX annual membership. So get down on that, and good luck to all of you. Again, congrats to our past winners. Congrats to our past winners of our sweepstakes and our shirt giveaways and everything like that. But Ben asks the real question. What if Jesse did it?
I wasn't even there. I feel like that's a pretty decent defense in this situation.
Weren't you? Exactly. That's what if I was going to steal someone's keys, I wouldn't make it known that I was there. I would hide in the shadows and then I would snatch the keys. So you're going on the list. You're a suspect now. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate you throwing that out there.
If I had stolen your keys, Derek, I 150% would have driven away in your car. Your car would not have been there if I stole your keys.
That's a good point. So, whoever did this did leave my car behind, and that was awfully
good. Shane or whoever's responsible for this really swung and missed, because if you get someone's keys, you have to like actually use them. You don't just like stuff them away somewhere just to like make Derek's life miserable. So
good point.
I don't know.
Good point. But Ben still finds you suspect. So we'll see. But also join us on the last Wednesday of every month. Our last Wednesday of every month, we will be at Four Peaks, the 8th Street Pub, our favorite place to be, all day, August 31st. Join us. We'll all be live from there. We will be eating chicken tenders and enjoying their wonderful beers. I will be having a beer shake, something you should also try out while you're there, as well as their wonderful variety of beers. But make sure you're 21 or older to enjoy responsibly. And that also goes for our friends at OGs. Obviously must be 21 or older to enjoy. And what I'm really going to enjoy, Jesse, is our new office space, which we are moving into this weekend. I've been helping out over there. I took out a lot of trash. I did a lot of trips down to the dumpster. And then, Jesse, I found out that the same alleyway that I was throwing stuff away in caught on fire. So again, in my defense, I would like to say that I did not throw any combustible items away that would cause a fire. And I'm just throwing that out there now. But most importantly, our office is absolutely decked out. And we want to thank our friends at More Furniture for doing that for us. It's incredible. I am going to live there. I have already determined this certain area that we can't wait to show you is going to be where I watch games, sleep, play video games, eat chips, and get yelled at by Saul for eating chips in that area. It's going to be so good. But our new studio with our new furniture, it's awesome, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. If you're interested in checking out Moore's Labor Day sale, visit morefurniture.com. Remember, right now is the Labor Day sale, Memorial Day sale. These are the best times to get furniture. So if you need anything, make sure to check out morefurniture.com, and we thank them again for hooking us up. I can't wait, Jesse. I can't wait. I'm going to see your face so much more because we're going to be at the office all the time. I've already decided where I'm going to sleep. There's a little room off to the side. I did not accidentally commit arson, Charles Woodall Pike, and I'm going to shut this show down before any more accusations come up. But yes, there is a place.
I have to admit, I was a little concerned last night because I did see reports about there being like smoke at the Arizona Center, just roughly where our office is located. I was like, that doesn't bode well for us.
What do we do? We haven't even been there for a day yet. But yeah, good stuff. We thank you guys again for joining us. Of course, we appreciate your time. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse N. Friedman. Leah, if you want to accuse her of stealing my keys or being part of that whole thing, is at Leah Merrill. MERRALL. But of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports and PHNX_DBacks. Make sure to follow the sports on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Again, we thank you guys for spending your lunch on behalf of Jesse and myself. We always appreciate your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you figure out who stole your keys.